You tell yourself, never again. Never again will I text that person. Never again will I procrastinate, overspend, or fall for the same trap. And yet, a few weeks later, you do it again. Different day, same mistake. It feels like you're stuck in a loop, aware enough to see the problem, but not strong enough to stop it. But what if it's not weakness? What if your brain is simply wired to repeat familiar pain because it confuses it with safety? This is the psychology of cognitive loops, the invisible patterns that make us live the same mistakes on repeat. And today, you'll learn why your mind does it and how to finally break free. Your brain is obsessed with comfort, not growth. It doesn't care if a pattern hurts, it only cares if it's predictable. That's why people return to toxic relationships, bad habits, or even self-sabotaging thoughts. The mind whispers, "At least I know how this feels." Familiarity becomes safety, and that safety becomes the silent killer of change. Breaking the loop means teaching your brain that discomfort can also be safe, because that's where transformation begins. Every loop starts with a little lie we tell ourselves. This time, I've learned. But learning without rewiring emotion isn't learning, it's just awareness. Your logic may understand the mistake, but your emotions still crave the same old pattern. You can't think your way out of a loop created by feelings. Until your emotional memory learns something new, your actions will always return to what's familiar, even when your mind knows better. Your brain is a reward machine. Every decision it repeats has at some point given it a dopamine hit. Whether it's the rush of validation, the comfort of escape, or the illusion of control, the brain remembers the pleasure, not the consequence. That's why bad habits feel irresistible. They're wired into your reward system. You're not addicted to the mistake itself, you're addicted to how it makes you feel for a moment. When something emotional happens, your brain stores not just the event, but the feeling attached to it. Later, when a similar situation arises, the brain says, "Oh, I know this story," and it plays the same emotional reaction on autopilot. You think you're making a conscious choice, but you're really acting out an old script, a memory loop disguised as a decision. That's why patterns repeat, because your emotional memory hasn't been updated yet. Ever heard of the confirmation bias? It's your brain's tendency to look for evidence that proves what it already believes. So if you secretly believe you're not good enough, your brain will subconsciously guide you toward actions that confirm it, even mistakes. That's the cruel irony. Your mind would rather be right and miserable than wrong and free. Most loops start early. A child who grew up walking on eggshells learns that anxiety equals safety. A kid who had to please everyone learns that love is earned through effort. And that child grows into an adult repeating those same patterns, not because they want to, but because their nervous system only trusts the familiar. You can't outthink what was emotionally taught. You have to retrain it. It sounds strange, but self-sabotage is often a coping mechanism. When life feels too uncertain, failing by choice gives you control. You think, at least if I ruin it, it's my fault. That false control creates a twisted sense of peace. This is how loops feed themselves. You hurt yourself to avoid the pain of being hurt by others, and in the process, confirm the very fears you were trying to escape. Every loop has a trigger, a moment, a person, a scent, a song. It sparks a familiar emotion that reactivates the old program. That's why healing requires awareness, not avoidance. You can't heal what you don't notice. The goal isn't to eliminate triggers, it's to teach your brain that it doesn't have to react the same way anymore. Many people say, "I know what my problem is," but insight without action changes nothing. Awareness is step one, integration is step two. You have to consciously practice new reactions, new beliefs, new emotional responses, until your brain realizes that this new pattern is safe. Because change doesn't stick through thought, it sticks through repetition.
Ironically, even regret can become a loop. You punish yourself for past mistakes, but that guilt only reinforces the belief that you're not capable of change, and that belief makes you repeat the same mistake again. Breaking the cycle means forgiving yourself, not forgetting what happened. Guilt keeps you stuck in the past. Compassion allows you to move forward. Neuroscience shows that the brain can literally rewire itself, a process called neuroplasticity. Every time you make a different choice, you weaken the old neural pathway and strengthen a new one. It's not instant, it's repetition over time. You fall, you try again, and each time the new habit gets easier. Eventually, what once felt unnatural becomes automatic. Here's the formula to escape cognitive loops. 1. Notice the pattern without judgment. 2. Name the emotion that keeps it alive. 3. Act differently, even if it feels wrong. The first few times will feel uncomfortable, even fake. But remember, the loop thrives on emotional familiarity. Once you stop feeding it, it starves. Change isn't dramatic, it's subtle. It's saying no when you used to say yes. It's staying silent instead of arguing. It's walking away instead of explaining yourself. Every small shift breaks a neural loop. Every tiny victory is your brain learning freedom. Here's something uncomfortable. Sometimes people stay stuck not because they love the pain, but because they fear peace. When your life has been filled with drama or struggle, calmness feels foreign, even unsafe. So your brain unconsciously seeks chaos again, because chaos feels like home. Healing, then, isn't just breaking the loop, it's teaching your nervous system that peace doesn't mean danger, that calm can be safe, that stability can be your new normal. The ultimate escape from cognitive loops isn't control, it's awareness without reaction. When you start observing your thoughts instead of obeying them, you create distance between who you are and what your mind tells you. You stop being the actor lost in the script and become the writer who can change it. That's real freedom. Not perfection, not certainty, just consciousness. And once you reach that point, the loops lose their power forever. You're not doomed to repeat your mistakes. You're just replaying the emotional lessons you haven't yet rewritten. Once you do, life changes, not because the world shifts, but because you do. Remember this: awareness breaks the illusion, action rewires the brain, and forgiveness ends the cycle. That's how you finally escape the loop, not by fighting your past, but by outgrowing it.